boxes and crates with food and medicine behind me, delivered to the people of Gaza, who are still suffering and starving. How is this possible? Well, the world continues to blame Israel for this, when in reality, Israel is doing everything in its power to actually get this food delivered to the Palestinian people. But it's Hamas and the UN who are complicit in the suffering and starvation of the people of Gaza. Some of these crates have been here for weeks, if not months. We have sugar, we have cheese, we have tuna, literally everything. It's probably going moldy at this point, honestly. And this is exactly Hamas's plan. To paint Israel as the perpetrator of all of this. When in reality, it's Hamas that continues to use its own people as pawns. We see it when they use their own children as human shields. And now we're seeing it as they use food as a weapon of war. Truly one of the most pathetic, disgusting acts that I have witnessed in my entire life. And that's why I had to come to Gaza. I got my bulletproof vest on. I don't care. I will do anything to share with you the truth. And the truth is that Hamas is solely responsible for all of this food not being delivered to its own people.
Yeah, that's such a fact, and that's so true. Why is it the whole world has the UNHCR as the only refugee commission that can look after you, but the Palestinians have UNRWA? What makes them so special? Why they're so special that they get their own refugee council and nobody else in the world has it? Gigi Hadid is considered a refugee and she has millions and millions of dollars. This is just a game from the get-go. And that's why I say, like, the idea they have to take Gaza and they have to take they have to take Judea and Samaria, you know, and stop calling that the West Bank. I think it's ridiculous. Limor Shamid, as to say in Hebrew. So I think what they're doing is a horrible, horrible thing. But look, the Western world has never been a friend. There's a reason why the state of Israel exists. Look at the horrible things that happen. And these are thick white colonialist people. And they did the same thing, and it's horrible.
Just look, if this had been released years ago, owners might have been out of jobs by now. In our home, no matter which drain gets clogged.
This is real science. Sebiotics pre-op.
Well,
my show Friday night, and he.
You're getting beaten up in Morocco. You're getting beaten up in Algeria.
More respected these days, certainly in the podcast world, for the health and wellness thing. Yeah. And
I have a good video.
Welcome to Hamas. If Hamas fires rockets from a roof of a school, and then Israel fires back to destroy those rocket launchers, Hamas can blame the destruction of the school on Israel. Hamas mass. If the IDF calls, texts, and sends leaflets to Palestinian civilians warning them to leave areas that are not safe, and then Hamas lies and tells their civilians to ignore those warnings, Hamas can blame any civilian death on Israel. Hamas mass. Building a network of terror tunnels 350 miles long instead of a single safe room in Gaza so that you can get away with terror while blaming Israel for not protecting civilians. Hamas mass. If Israel kills a terrorist who just so happens to be wearing a press vest, Hamas can blame Israel for targeting journalists. Hamas mass. When genocidal terrorists enter into Israel and commit an act of genocide against Israelis, Hamas will blame Israel for genocide when it retaliates. Hamas mass. If Hamas proposes its own terms for a ceasefire and publicly accepts, they can accuse Israel as being the obstacle to peace. Hamas mass. If Israel sends in 300,000 tons of aid to Gaza, but Hamas steals it for themselves and sells it back to Palestinians while price gouging them, they can accuse Israel of creating famine, Hamas math.
Was that mask? Mask? M-A-S-K?
Math.
Oh, Hamas math. Thank you. I couldn't tell what you were saying.
So I say that you like the propaganda.
I love it.
I
love it. In the title, Yaakov. It's brought to you by our sweetie.
Was everyone doing?
Cairo, just look at this guy in the chat, Cairo, what he wrote. The rest of the world and the West want every single IOF terrorist soldier to drop dead. So you want my kids to die? Is that what you want, Cairo? Cairo, or whatever, Cairo.
Who is that? You?
Cairo, why don't you come up and speak?
Come on. That wanted more deaths after you mentioned the bus to report. Maybe.
Aleph had the news report of I think seven.
Some asshole came in and said he wished more.
Oh, that was Prince. Yeah, the clubhouse terrorist.
Yeah, the Western world wants every IOF terrorist to drop dead. And you said what?
What's IOF mean?
Preferably them first.
What's IOF mean? What's IOF mean?
The Israeli Occupation Forces.
And you said preferably you want Aleph's kids to die first?
Is that what his name is?
Is that what you said?
Oh, my kids are in the IDF, so he wants my kids to die.
Yeah, there's a thing called the IOF.
No, but he said I preferably want that person's kids to die first. Is that what you? Is that what you're going to stand on that? And is that what you want?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just said that, but it's okay. It doesn't matter, bro. The rooms are all recorded anyways. All you little terrorist sex workers. I know. And where are you from, shitbag?
I'm American. You can't call me a shitbag. You guys are my welfare people.
Well, you're a fucking chump. That's what
Are you upset? Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine? Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine? Are you upset about the money that was sent to Ukraine?
You guys are my bums. I give you guys money.
Listen, if it wasn't for us assholes, you little shitheads wouldn't be around. Are you upset about Ukraine? Why do you support Israel every day?
If it wasn't for Israel.
Why do you support Israel every day? I'm just curious.
Because our politicians are cucked out. But
but why do you personally support Israel every day? If you hate Israel so much,
the Americans want to like the American people.
Do you know how to answer a question, or you just talk? Do you know why do you support Israel every day?
Obviously, I don't support the pedophile state.
Oh, pedophile state. Okay. So you support Israel every day, right? Every day. Yeah, you help Israel grow and be stronger. You know that.
I support rabbis that circumcise little boys with their mouth.
Rabbis don't circumcise little boys with their mouth. That's misinformation. No, they don't.
That's a lie.
No, that's not a lie.
It's a lie.
So you're telling me they bite the foreskin off with their mouth?
Yeah, maybe your rabbi does. You should ask.
So maybe you haven't been to a circumcision.
Maybe you should ask your rabbi.
Maybe less than 500 families out of 16 million practice that. Like it's a rounding error on a rounding error. On a rounding error. It is like.
You said nobody does it.
They don't, because you're a lie. And even Yaakov is giving a false statement right now, because that's not true. I've been to it. No. My brother's religious. He's a rabbi, and I've been to a circumcision, and they use a straw to suck out the blood, and that's a health measure. They don't suck on little babies' penises like what you're trying to portray right now.
That's why babies.
And they don't bite the foreskin off like you just said, you fucking weirdo.
How did they get sexually transmitted diseases?
They don't. You're lying.
And you said nobody, and your friend Yaakov just said 500.
I said I didn't say that. I did not say as you did it.
You don't want to say it anymore. You don't want to stand on it anymore.
Oh, you're trying to twist his words right now, but it's cool.
You heard this guy's an angry black. He's an angry black man. That's.
I know he's an angry black kid that has an identity crisis.
Oh,
that he's not. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. We already know, bro. We already know who you are. You fucking moron. You're on Clubhouse app. We already hacked everything about you, you moron.
Okay, all right.
Okay, no problem.
So why does your rabbi sucking baby dick?
Why don't you tell us? They don't.
Ignorant. You guys know they have a name for it. You can go Google this right now. Like Stop lying to people. That the internet's here.
Are you upset that there's pedophilia in your family and you're projecting and trying to blame the rest of the world that everybody's a pedophile because that's what's going on with you and your family?
Do you live in America?
Do you know who your father is?
Okay. Do you have any
Kyle Shithead, do you know who your father is?
Not giving us back our pedophiles so we can convict them.
Do you
know the difference between your father and a park bench? A park bench can support a family. Your father can't.
As an American, don't you want Israel to send back the pedophiles so we can convict them?
You know what the difference is between a pizza and your father? A pizza can feed your family. Your father can't.
I think we got him.
You didn't get nothing. You don't know how to have proper discussion. All you do is talk. You're like a fucking retarded idiot.
I'll have a proper
You just keep talking and talking. You don't know how to have proper discourse.
Okay.
That's the problem with you people. You're indoctrinated. You're fucking filled with misinformation. And you're angry because of the color of your skin. You should love yourself. You should love yourself.
But you got to answer my question truthfully. You can go first. I'll answer truthfully.
Why do you hate Jews?
I don't hate Jews.
He's very angry with us.
I hate Zionists.
You don't even know what
What's a Zionist? Okay, what is a Zionist?
Yeah, let's start with
That's the second question. Can I ask one and then you can ask?
No, what is a Zionist?
A Zionist are people that want a homeland for the Jews, but Zionism in practice is terrorism, rape, occupation, torture, pillaging.
Well, this guy just defined what happened on October 7th from Hamas.
Okay, so now can I ask you a
Pretty
question?
good, you little goof. Go ahead.
Okay, but you're going to answer truthfully? It's not a disrespectful question.
Go ahead.
As an American, do you not have problem with Israeli government not sending us back our pedophiles so we can convict them?
Oh my God, you are such a fucking retard.
Which one?
Answer the question.
Give me a name.
You gotta say the name. You gotta say who you want back.
Which one? Give me the name of the pedophile you want back.
Do you have a problem?
Yeah, I would answer. Give me a name. It's not like a widespread answer for each one. I will try. Give me the name of the person.
You gotta
How
answer.
can I?
How can we give back if you're not telling us
I
who?
wanna answer you. Let me give me the name.
Who
Give me the name. Hold on, Yaakov.
extradited?
1 second, Yaakov.
Extradited.
1 second, everybody. Wow, guys.
Under a legal.
1 second, everybody. Okay, 1 second. Hey, Cairo, you asked us to tell you why we are not giving away pedophiles. Can you give me the name of one pedophile so I can look it up?
Who's requested to be extradited?
So give me a name. Give me a name.
Ask the question again, and then you could ask me a
Okay.
second.
Oh my God, this guy's got a fucking trauma like to his head. He doesn't know how to answer a proper question. Which fucking name?
Do you have a problem?
Which name?
with
Who?
the Israeli government
Who? Which name?
not sending
Who? Which name? Who? Which name?
To be extradited. It works for legal extradition
suspects?
Who is in the Israeli government is
Violent
preventing this?
pedophilia.
Who is doing
Can't
this? in the
name
Israeli government?
anybody. He can't name anybody.
No, he has his facts, I'm sure. Give me the name of the person in the government, or can you show me like the decision?
Along with this propaganda, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, give me the name.
Jay and I were both listening to the replay, like, oh my god, that's so. He's an alcoholic meth head from Texas.
Yeah, fuck Marshall
Where'd
Rankin.
Marshall go? I think he went to get another drink.
That was funny. He is
was
really
great.
annoying. He is incredibly annoying. Like, I mean, I thought it was funny that he even admitted that he got shit faced and fell on his electric scooter. I'm surprised he even spoke about it.
Yeah, I mean, some days Marshall is like a thoughtful interlocutor, you know, and other days he's just like off his rocker. I like Marshall.
No, I like him too in the sense that he's not like actually a malignant, mean person. You know, like even when he insults you, it's like a rather pathetic, you know, insult. It's never like, you know, super mean because he's just not that kind of a person, you know.
Well, buddy, I'm posting selfies on Facebook, promoting my content, prepping for an interview at 12. I did chest day today. I burned like how many calories? My active calorie burn, according to my Apple Watch today, is 556.
Mm.
It's jump rope for like 20 minutes today. Did chest day. Did yoga.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
Well, now you got a little extra work to do in the evening with a John Kitover candidate congressman fundraiser.
I'm going to interview you like a journalist.
Exactly. That's what I need. I need content with professional interviewers because it sounds professional. And the NPR interview may have dropped already. I got to check.
I have my microphone.
Let me see.
Look at the selfie I just posted already. I just posted this on Facebook. Well, content promotion selfie.
I bet I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they'll actually pull their interview with me because they want to protect Darren LaHood. I don't know, but they said it's going to come out today.
He cut their funding. Fuck them. Fuck him.
I don't think he cut their funding. They're probably working on it because he asked for a follow-up because I claimed that he's a traitor to the Second Amendment. And he's like, he emails me, he says, why? I need a link or some kind of documentation supporting your claim. So I send him their own link from their own website where he says he wants to raise the minimum age of gun ownership. And I'm kind of laughing because I didn't even realize it was their own link. So hopefully it comes out. But there was more I wanted to say because he won't sign the discharge paperwork to Speaker Johnson with regards to the Epstein Transparency Act. I forgot to bring that up in the interview, but I have another interview with a major local newspaper tomorrow. But they want to see my resume first, so I have to get on my laptop and send them a copy of my resume prior to the interview.
I love it.
But yeah, stir the pot tonight when everybody else is stirring the pot. But stir it with me, and we'll raise money, and we'll create a great big room, and it'll be fun. And you'll be the center of attention because people will be hating on you, saying, "Why the F are you platforming John Kitover?" And you can say, "Hey, he's running for Congress. You want to see his FEC link? You want to see his latest interviews? You want to see his campaign website?" Let people get angry over this because this is what people are doing. Is they're just they're just bringing problems and focusing on however it can make them angry. It's a bunch of children on this app. It's retards. Tell Jane, let's do it at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock your time. Did you see that execution in Philadelphia?
No.
Yeah, this fucking piece of shit pulled a gun out and executed somebody in the streets in broad daylight.
Where?
Google it. All right, I gotta go. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
By the way, did you guys see that clip, the dash cam clip from Jerusalem, the terrorist attack?
No. Do you have it?
Yeah, I have it. I can post it just a
Can
second.
you post it and I'll pin it to the top, please?
Othello, would you get kicked out of that room? You can't go in there, so you got to listen to the third-party stream? Congratulations, Othello. I heard you getting roasted yesterday.
The last part is the interesting part. You can see how civilians are sneaking up to terrorists to annihilate them.
For everybody that wants to see the video, it's posted on the Jumbotron at the top of the screen. You just click the link and you'll see the dashcam footage that Samson is talking about. Make me mod, Daniel.
What?
Make me mod.
Oh. What happened?
I don't know what happened. This guy. Sam, what happened to Josh?
I think Jonas has been like sleeping on the rock the last couple of days. He was still referencing that organization, the one with the fake scholars, signing up for $30.
It's crazy. Yeah. He's probably upset that he paid his $30 and they closed it down.
Okay, so I found it. Because and if there's someone that is like knows about master teaching and can explain this thing, so it says Abdallah related. The messenger of Allah sent for me, so we set out until I reached such and such a place, and he hold on, let me just flip it. And he traced a line for me and told me, stay between the two edges of this. Do not go outside of it. If you go outside of it, it's over for you. Abdallah said, and so I stayed there. Then the messenger of Allah went off a stone's throw away, or a little further. Then he, the narrator, mentioned a group of male members who looked like Zut people, as a fan said, Allah willing, with no clothes on, but I did not see their genitals, tall and scrawny. And they came and started to ride the messenger of Allah. And the Prophet Allah began to recite to them. And they started to move closer and lean around me and get in my way. And I became intensely terrified of them. So I sat down. And when the morning light broke, they began to go away. Then the messenger of Allah came back exhausted and in pain, or practically in pain from how they had ridden him. He said, indeed, I am exhausted. Then the messenger of Allah put his head in my lap, and the scrawny ones came with tall white garments on, but the messenger of Allah had fallen asleep, and I became more intensely terrified of them than I was the first time. What do we learn from this, Chipman?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, how do you interpret this?
Well, my mind is a bit specific, so...
This is the reason why you study 2 and 2 at the yeshiva, in case you have someone like a dirty man.
I was actually trying to see how they will explain, like, why was he exhausted and in pain after...
You want me to tell you how twisted they are and what they would say? I already know.
Okay.
That he transformed into a donkey. And they rode him from one desert to another. That's what they would say.
They already wrote on the occupied territory. It was like they accused of being you should see how Al Jazeera wrote it up already.
Bro, in Times of Israel says 5 injured. It's the craziest shit.
Well, in Israel, Times of Israel says about the attack today. They say 5 injured.
Yeah, it says right here. It says 6 people. No, the Times of Israel, news from Israel, the Middle East. Hold on. So, okay, they just changed it. 6 killed, 6 seriously injured. Jerusalem as terrorist. Yeah, it's 7. As open fire on a bus. Okay. At the scene of Jerusalem terror attack, Netanyahu says Israel fighting mighty war against terror. Army boosting West Bank presence after shooting. IDF says it struck sites belonging to the elite Hezbollah unit in Lebanon, Becha Valley. 3 Houthi drones shot down in the south within an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, Al Jazeera. 6 people have been killed in a shooting at attack in occupied East Jerusalem. Israeli authorities say
it wasn't even
East
Jerusalem. It's in the northwest Jerusalem. And also Macron said something about East Jerusalem, and it's just not true. And this is like the news in Israel on a Monday morning that 3 rockets, 3 drones coming in from Yemen, and terrorists just shooting at people, with 7 dead. And this is mostly religious, very humble, not humble, how do you call it,
once complete,
not rich, how do you say,
the leaves are stacked inside a large cast iron pot around a wooden rod the size of a
not
wrist
poor,
to prevent
but
oxidation
very
from exposure, which would render the leaves
poor of a choice in a way. They're not
modest.
modest. Thank you very much. Most of them do not serve the IDF, so it's not like a military target. It was just another terror attack, and all the stories about Kindred job, the entire world goes mad. I don't think that this is even mentioned, and then people see, I see it in my own eyes. No, they don't see what is going on in their own eyes. This is not normal, and we do not accept this.
Gee, he's trying to talk about normal.
Hello. Hi, Josh. Can you guys cash in your house tickets? Join the house, top of the screen. Click the house name, and it'll say join the house. You can have more interesting houses.
I got a big fat check I want to cash in as well.
Send it to me. I will take it.
Josh, what do you say about the shooting that took place in Jerusalem that killed 7 Israelis?
Terrible. I just don't know why anyone would do that. What's going on? Is something going on over there in that region?
Yeah, there's a lot of vaccination to hate, and there is encouragement of those terrorists.
You know what? My mistake. I didn't introduce Josh. I didn't introduce Josh properly. Hi, this is Josh. He goes by his PTR as Josh Sirota. Josh supports Hamas.
Jewish name. That's a Jewish name.
No, Sirota is not actually.
Well, I understand that you support Hamas because
Sirota is actually an Italian name.
I think what you're trying to say, in an undertone, is basically that there is some kind of justification for this terror attack in his mind. So obviously he supports this resistance.
And they're not. He says they're also not terrorists. They've committed some acts of terror on October 7th, and they were wearing all uniforms, but they decided to take their uniforms off October 8th.
I tell you the problem with the pro-Palestinians.
That's right, baby. So, hold on, David.
The web of lies is so deep that it's really hard for them.
So this is 2 culprits who all they did was a terrorist attack. They didn't target any military outposts. They didn't retrieve any hard drives. They didn't take any soldiers captives. So this could be generalized because it's only 2 people as a terrorist attack. And no, I was not justifying it.
It's not just 2 people, because if you understand, for example, their weapons, you understand it's not weapon. They had infrastructure. They had network. The fact that it's 2 people and not 1 person actually even confirms even stronger that it's a network that is operating this. You don't know anything about this. You're just trying to legitimize it and say, oh, just 2 people. That is happening all the time. We have we stop basically every day. We stop a terror attack. Every time it's only 1 person. No, there is a problem.
I'm sure there's a network behind it, but the weapons that they used were not very hard to make. They were made inside the West Bank
exactly. Not by them. It requires. They didn't make it at home. It requires this network of manufacturing those guns. Yes.
We're stealing them. I mean,
Paolo, I think it's called.
I think it was inspired by Czechoslovakian weapon or something like that. But the weapons that they use are not hard to make, and I'm not even legitimizing it. So at first you said justified, now legitimize. We're getting closer. I'm saying
no. You said justified because you said if anything happens that could. Why would they do this? There is you would asking basically Why would something like this happen? Is if there is a justification for something like this?
No, not justification. That's the part where you're injecting.
Okay, so my answer is correct. That there's indoctrination. That is why it is happening.
I wouldn't say indoctrination. I would say a lot of it's anger. I would say a lot of it has to do with the fact that their people are getting blown into pieces and their babies are getting abandoned in incubators. I think this is a repercussion of that.
Really, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always and Israel is not a repercussion. Israel is like always at fault, and the Palestinians are always repercussions. So they have to go and slaughter innocent Jews on the street because it makes a lot of difference. The fact is that this terror attack, like any other terror attack, just makes life shittier for the Palestinians. For you to then come and say that they're oppressed. They're oppressed for not oppressed. They are being blocked for a reason. There is a checkpoints for a reason. There is a blockade for a reason, and you see the reason. You just don't see it as a legitimate thing. So it's not a problem for us. It is a problem. So you need to understand that we call the shots there, and not your opinion and not your narrative, but facts on the ground. And facts on the ground that it is a terror attack. And it's not acceptable, but it is acceptable in some societies. Even people like you in the West are justifying it, finding a reason instead of calling it out. So we have to do it alone, despite the fact that the opinion is against it.
No, I'm saying it's a little bit of both of what you're saying. I'm saying that it's wrong, but it's also a repercussion of what's been going on. And then you say, well, we can go in circles back and forth about, well, this is why there's a blockade, and they did this because of blockade, but there's a blockade because it happened. And it goes all the way back, and this is how we start arguing about 48 or 19.
No, we don't forget about 48. Because the Palestinian identity and ideology started like in the mid 60s, like this creation of this political ideology of Palestinians. If there was no war in 67, where would be the Palestinians? You know what? Let me ask you this: if we had lost the war of 48, there would be Jordan and there would be Egypt. There would be no Palestinian. There would be no Palestine. And Palestinians were created in 1967 when they said, okay, this part is Jordan, this part is not. You are Palestinians, you are Jordanian, you are Egyptian, and that's it.
No,
this is how you created that.
Geographically, the landmass between the Jordan River and the sea has always been referred to as Palestine.
Actually, no. It was always referred to as Syria. It was, like during the Ottoman Empire, they didn't know what Palestine is. This was called Syria. And when the British mandate took the mandate, they brought the name back, Palestine, and it was including Transjordan. Not just the land that we're on, also Jordan. Look at the map of the British Mandate of Palestine. You will see that its entire map is including Jordan. And before that, it was South Syria.
Wait, do you know what trans means, Josh? Trans?
The overlap between the territories is for them to decide what the Arabs wanted to do. But I will say that the nationalist idea and identity of Palestine and Arabs in Palestine existed before the British mandate. They also wanted
Arabs in Palestine, I said Palestinian identity as a Palestinian, not as that they were placed during the British mandate.
They had their own flag. It's the same one they have now, but it had a cross and a crescent. They helped the British fight the
Ottomans. It's the Arab League's flag. It's not that flag. It's the same flag as Jordan. It's the flag of most of the Arab countries. Yes, dude. Look at the Jordanian flag.
This
flag thing with a star.
Yeah, okay. You can't say the Kuwaiti flag is the same as the UAE flag just because they're similar and they use the same colors. The Palestinian flag.
The Palestinian flag is like exactly like the Jordanian flag.
And I understand it wasn't the official flag, and neither was the Zionist one with the gold star. I'm saying that they had a sense of identity. So much so that they helped the British fight the Ottomans.
Can you be more specific?
No, they had a sense of identity. Actually, they were insulted, if you would call the Palestinians, because they saw themselves as Arabs. And you will see by their last names also exactly where they're coming from. The Palestinians.
What are you gonna do about it? Kick me from the room like a little girl? Little baby boy.
Even for 2 years. Look at UNRWA's mandate.
Oh, I don't care. Go ahead. I've been doing this 5 years. They ain't stopped me yet.
I'm a Palestinian. But you can see by their last names. The last names say exactly where they come from.
I've seen this debunk before. So there.
Can I ask you a question? Josh, I want to ask you a question.
You're so
I wanna ask
stupid.
you
I
a
didn't
question,
betray you.
Josh.
Dumbass looks at my
When
YouTube
the
schmuck.
Jordans, as a consequence of the war between 47 and 49, when the Jordans they went to these so-called Palestinians and asked them what do you want us to do with you, why do they want to be a part of Jordan? Why do they want Jordanian passport?
Wait.
Why didn't they say we want? Why didn't they say we want our own state?
Was this when Jordan occupied the West Bank? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for using that word.
Those are scam artists.
Their occupation wasn't violent. It was more like to protect the
But wait,
Palestinians that were
do
there.
you think it was an occupation? Because the Palestinians, they don't say it was an occupation.
It was more of a mandate. I'm using your
Recognized by how many countries, George?
It was not allocated to them. It was allocated to the Arab state, which is not part of. Jordan was created in 1946 unilaterally by the British. So the partition comes in 1947, and the land that goes that was west of the Jordan, that wasn't part of the Jewish state, was for quote an Arab state, not part of Jordan. Then the war breaks out. Jordan, under the command of a British Lieutenant General, occupies that land. They win it in a war. Okay, so they won that. It's not like they said, oh, we want to be a part of Jordan. No, they won it in a war. So it becomes occupation.
Okay. So, what was the original question?
It wasn't given.
So the question was, when they were asked, they were literally asked by the Jordanians, "What do you want us to do to you in this territory?" Why didn't they say we want our own state, we want our own Palestinian state?
I don't know. I think they decided for themselves what they wanted, and I think
and they said we want to be equal citizens, we want to be Jordanians, we want equal representation in the Jordanian parliament, etc. So, like, how does this align with what you're saying, that there's always been a Palestinian identity and sense of, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, nationality, ethnicity, I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, they had just lost the war. I think these were people. I think you could probably do the same thing in Gaza now if Egypt was like, hey, we'll take you in. And they're like, well, if it's this or another Deir Yassin massacre, we'll rather be under Egypt. Because, they didn't have the resources and the militia and the manpower to take what they wanted. So
they had 7 armies and militias against the military of the Jewish state.
Was that supposed to be an answer to my question?
So, I just don't think that they had the ability to get what they really wanted.
They were literally given a voice. They could say what they want.
But Samson, you have to remember that even before Jordan was banked, they were offered the ability to make the West Bank by the United Nations or the League of Nations into a state, and they rejected it. So they rejected it then, they rejected it afterwards.
And the Palestinian people, click on the graph at the link attached above, and you will see that's quote. That's a search through all books published by Google. It indexes, it's an Ngram viewer, so it indexes every book that they have from 1800 to 2022, and it's a search for quote in quotes Palestinian people, meaning Palestinian and people have to be next to each other, not Palestinian people, but Palestinian people, and you'll see right after 1964. How that flies up. That's when that concept was invented by the Russians in 1964 with Yasser Arafat. It wasn't around before that. Take a look at that.
I'm not sure. This is just a graph. It doesn't have any context to it.
Context is every reference to, quote, Palestinian people in every book that's indexed by Google.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Just because I don't care if they, at this point, they're still not calling themselves Palestinian people. These people had an identity to this land. They're Arabs, even if they call themselves Arabs. These are the people that have lived there for centuries.
So their identity was Palestinian before.
They had a flag. The land was called Palestine. before, a long time ago, it was called Syria, Palestina.
Josh, when you say they've lived there for centuries, I mean, the population boom looks like it was a fraction, both the Jews and the Arabs, in the 1900s from what it was in 1948. And like it was a small population. There were small little villages and settlements, and there were Jewish communities as well as Arab communities that were like the Falahadin. They worked the land for some landowner over in Turkey. There were not a lot of different families and cultures and civilizations and temples and churches and roads and cops, and there was no infrastructure. It was nothing.
That's not true.
Before 1900.
I have a book. It has a lot of pictures of agriculture, culture.
Someone with the book. What's the book called?
I have to see. It's like Palestine and something, but it was it's like leading up to it's like everything before 1948.
That's post 1900. I'm talking about the period before 1900.
Oh, well, before that, I mean, it was the Ottoman Empire for a long time. I think even a lot of
it was occupied during the Crusades. That's a few hundred years earlier.
Yeah. Oh, way before.
I'm saying you have to realize that like this region is just like populating the remains of the ancient Jewish state. It's like, should we use it? Should we not use it? Should we let the Jews in? Shouldn't we?
Which the Caliph did bring in a lot of Jews back in.
Yeah, and the Jews entered into the age of nationalism where they no longer asked permission to live in their homeland.
And also,
a lot of them converted to Islam and Christianity.
Yeah, that's probably
true.
Forcibly,
Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the PA.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, his family was Safad in English, Safad. In January 1st, 1837, there was an earthquake. The local Arab population blamed the Jews and forced them to convert whatever you want. His family was part of that.
Are you talking about the looting of Safad?
What?
The looting?
No, that was something else entirely. This is an earthquake in 1837. I believe it was 1837.
Oh, okay. Well, why are you guys causing earthquakes?
Oh, now we cause the earthquakes.
I'm kidding.
Look, don't make those jokes, man.
I'm calling you. You're in for a trip.
What I'm trying to say is not a question of like population swelling, which happened on both sides to tip the scales. I'm saying infrastructure development and really more like self-sufficiency, sovereignty, modern statehood. The Jews of Israel, together with foreign Jews that were not in Israel, decided that they were going to make their own Jewish decisions in their Jewish homeland. A perfectly reasonable choice most every nation state makes.
What does that mean, a Jewish homeland? Like, are we talking about which borders? The ancient kingdom of Israel? Or the kingdom of Judea and Samaria?
You're saying like ideally or just like practically what we can get?
Yeah, like who drew up these lines?
Ideally, you'd want, the full biblical messianic promise from the river to the sea.
I think it's more.
Wait one second. So
I think it's
the lines are a result of purchasing land and the modern day borders relative to the establishment of the state of the modern day society. So there's no such thing as like somebody did draw up the lines randomly. The Jews purchased land that was the original borders, and then they found borders that were subsequently called by the Arabs. And then this established what we have today. 48 borders, 67 borders. And also, to the point, even when Jews were like living amongst other people in other lands, including the Ottoman Empire, people still wrote about them in distinct groups. I don't know if there are any or very many ideas of the Palestinians being a distinct group from other Arabs. living in the Ottoman Empire.
Well, of course it was. Why else would they fight the with the British?
It wasn't just the Palestinians.
There was a general Arab
You don't think that Arabs saw themselves different from the Turks?
They did. They still do.
Yeah, Arab versus Turks is different than Arabs.
But that doesn't mean the Arabs saw each other as different from each other.
Well, I would say that's a good thing, but
that's why they all joined together in an Arab League. We're just saying that there was no Palestinian state that was trying to be preserved by the Arab compatriots of the Palestinians. The Arabs wanted to join as an Arab alternative to the existence of the state of Israel.
Before, yes, exactly.
Yeah, they tend to think of themselves without borders. Like these lines on the maps are not about doing.
But that's for them to decide if later on they have state. But here's my question: like, what do you think if like Herzog was like, well, let's go to Madagascar, let's not mess with the Arabs? What do you think that sign look like today?
They tried it. They thought about it.
Uganda plan was put before the first World Zionist Conference and voted down.
Israel was not even close to Plan B. Like, the Holocaust happened. It forced everyone's hand. The Jews were staying put. And, probably the trains and the boats and permitted immigration would have tipped the numbers if you let the Jews in.
Zionists were already Palestine before the Holocaust.
Yes, and it was already an alternative plan from multiple alternative plans to deal with the dying Jews in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Zionism was the plan that survived the destruction from the Holocaust. I regret not working out my hairline before.
Zionism was the plan. Well, Zionism was before the Holocaust.
That's why I'm saying Zionism was the plan to deal with the Jews of Europe that survived the destruction of the Jews of Europe.
Yeah, from the pogroms prior to that.
Yes, from the earlier problems that the Jews of Europe were facing.
But it wasn't just that, Nick said. You have to remember also that there were several forms of Sephardic Zionism.
Yes.
Already the Yemenites that were moving in.
The religious community was consulted and they discussed. Zionism is a movement and it comprised the entirety of the Jewish nation. You can't just place it as one thing. But I'm saying the starting impetus that drew the attention, that grew Zionism when Herzl wrote of it, it was because of the concern of the death of the Jews in Europe and a tangible investment that the Jews could do to secure against it. And there were alternative proposals. There were Jewish communities in America. And there were alternate proposals like go to Uganda because it was democratic. They were exploring their options. But Jewish homeland in the ancestral old cities of Jewish places, aside from the essential constitutional claim of Judaism for certain named cities such as Shechem, Hebron, Jerusalem, not named in the 5 books, Shechem, what's called Tzfat, a later settled Jewish and continually occupied Jewish city. Right? Meaning they were building a nation off of the history of the Jews to deal with the problem that the Jews found themselves stateless throughout all of Europe. And the problem of statelessness was not resolved quick enough for the Jewish state to be a solution.
The Jewish population prior to 1900 was 5%, I think. And I'm aware that a lot of Jews didn't even want to go to be in the desert.
They didn't. Even after the Holocaust, the number swelled to 600,000. They ran away to wherever they could survive, and a lot of it was America, and some of them got to Israel.
I think the problem with what you're saying is this was a plan for the Jews in diaspora, but you're not taking into account the people that have always been there, which, as I mentioned, a lot of them were just Jews that converted, So you get the Jews in diaspora get a state at the expense of the indigenous people that were there.
What Jews that converted? We're talking about the Jewish regions, the regions that kept to the Jewish narrative and history and culture and nationhood, like Tzfat. Tzfat is a classic case. Hebron, you had Jewish communities spread throughout. You're right. It wasn't so easy to just take them all. And land swaps
moving the people would have been like the logical, obvious choice to make a contiguous Jewish community. But alternatively, you could just like live nicely together and have the Jews of Hebron not massacred. But when you do massacre the Jews of Hebron, the Jews that are coming to support the existing Jewish communities are going to start defending the Jews of Hebron, contrary to prior historical precedent. That's the problem of statehood. You can't kill us anymore.
Well, Hebron was a terrible, tragic massacre, just like there, skirmishes happening on both sides.
Which one?
And I'm not saying it's a justification, but it's not like they just decided to do it out of pure anti-Semitism. They were just people that were concerned with the mass migration of Jewish people in Palestine. We're probably going to see something like that in America pretty soon, or probably in some places of Europe.
What are we going to see?
People starting to kill immigrants.
But you know that the Arabs that you talk about as like indigenous, you're missing the point that many of them, and there's like enough documentation that I can show you if you want from articles reading back then, about how they're like hundreds of thousands of them come to the land in order to have better life, in order to work, because the Zionists were there, because the British were there. As I told you, you can see by their last name where they came. You present them as if they are like the indigenous people that did not immigrate there. They immigrated also there.
Well, yeah,
so why are they indigenous and we, that it's our ancestral homeland, we're not indigenous?
Between 1932 and 1947, at least 500,000 Arabs migrated to Palestine because of opportunities created by Jewish towns. This is a fact. This is documented. At least 500,000.
So
they came from Egypt, Syria, etc. You can tell by their names. They migrated there. They were Arabs. They didn't identify as Palestinians. This is a creation of the 60s. Thank you.
So they were, yes, people immigrated there for job opportunities even before Zionism from the Ottoman Empire.
No.
Not just Jews. No.
Of course.
So, there were always migrants, but there was no major settlement. The Ottomans did not do any major settlement in their territory. Their main agenda, honestly, was so they blocked Jews from buying land, but there's no major accomplishments that they did. They didn't build a university. So to say that they were always migrating there for job opportunities, to be so blasé, I'm talking about 500,000 in a 15-year period. And that didn't happen under the Ottomans.
No, it's not necessarily under the Ottomans, it's just people that migrated there. And you're right, there were no universities, but there were, religious schools, and there was infrastructure. It had a rich agriculture.
You're just blowing off his main point. It really feels like you're missing it. His main point is that there was tremendous migration under Jewish rule, and that's what we're talking about today. Not what the Ottomans, not the religious schools.
For the years that you gave me, migration made up a small part of the population growth, like 10 to 20%. And I read about this. I don't know where you're getting 500,000 from. The population of Palestine itself in the year of like 1910 was like 650,000, I think.
I'll repeat. I didn't say anything about 1910.
1910 is post-Zionism.
And in 1932 to 1947, 500,000 Arabs migrated there. I'll try and find a link for it, but we don't have to go back to 1910. Focus on the exact years that I took.
No, I was just throwing out a year to give you what the population was.
Right, I know, but that's not relevant to this point.
I guess you're not connecting the dots here. I'm saying that the migration, even in the time frame that you were giving me, migration made up a small part. Like that's certainly not a majority.
You quoted a population from 1910 and of 600,000, and I told you
then a number that's 90% of that, or 95% of that migrated in a 15-year period, and just saying, what, that I'm not connecting it?
Hold on, I gotta check.
Randy, how you doing?
Hey, dudes. People are so confident with their nonsense, you know?
Hello? Yeah, so we were talking about migration.
Hello?
Yeah, so you can hear me, right?
Hello?
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 Can you? Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, is there anybody?
Hello?
Hello, it's me.
Is it you?
Hello. Right, Randy?
I've thought about you for a long, long time.
Let me look up this same, because I looked this up the other day, actually, in terms of the immigration into
What are we trying to do, man? What exactly are you trying to do?
What's the thesis, Josh? What do you